All right, let's talk about something amazing. Seeing the world after you turn 70. It's a time of incredible freedom, right? But it also comes with a whole new playbook and some hidden challenges that, let's be honest, you're not going to find in most travel guides.
So, let me just ask you this straight up. Do you think traveling at 70 is the same game it was at 40? I mean, the travel brochures might make it seem that way, but the reality is, things are different. And knowing how they're different is the secret to having the most incredible and safe adventures. And I want to be super clear about something right up front. This is not about telling you to stop having adventures. Not at all. This is all about empowering you to travel smarter and safer so you can hit those bucket list spots with absolute confidence.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about the new rules of the road for senior travel. Then, we'll get into the real talk about physical and medical risks, the mental strain, and yeah, how to keep yourself safe from scammers. And then, we'll wrap it all up with what I think is the single most important key to amazing travel at any age. Okay, let's dive right in with part 1, the new rules for senior travel. Because you know what? The game absolutely changes, but that journey, it keeps going.
And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's not your age that's holding you back. It's how prepared you are. That is the mindset shifts we're making today.
All right, on to our second section, physical and medical risks. This is where we get practical and just, acknowledge that our bodies have a few new needs when we're out there exploring the world. Think about it like this. That long flight that was maybe just a bit uncomfortable when you were 50, well, once you're over 70, it becomes a genuine health consideration. The risk of things like deep vein thrombosis, those dangerous blood clots, goes up. It's suddenly not just about being comfortable, it's about being strategic. And hey, it's not just about the big stuff like flights. As this traveler points out, something as simple and charming as wandering down a cobblestone street in Europe can become a real challenge for your knees and your balance. So what do you do about it? Well, here's your game plan. First, build in rest days. Seriously, they're strategic, not lazy. Second, do your homework on hotels. Does it have an elevator? Are there a million stairs? And third, embrace slow travel. Staying longer in one city isn't just more relaxing, it's actually way easier on your body. This is such a great piece of advice from a 79-year-old traveler. Upgrading your flight isn't giving in. It's a smart investment in your health so you can actually enjoy yourself when you land. It's a concession to age that pays off big time. Okay, let's talk about the medical side of things, because this is huge. You have to remember, healthcare is not the same everywhere. A simple prescription at home could be totally unavailable or even illegal in another country. And this is why a lost suitcase is no longer just an inconvenience. If your meds are in there, it's a potential life or death situation.
So, what's the action plan? This stuff is absolutely non-negotiable. 1. Get a checkup before you leave. 2. Always, and I mean always, keep extra medication in your carry-on bag, never checked luggage. 3. Know where the local doctor or clinic is before you need one. And 4. Get good, comprehensive travel insurance. It's not a nice to have, it's an essential.
We've talked about the body, but what about the mind? Let's move on to Section 3, Cognitive and Psychological Strain. This is all about managing the mental side of being in a totally new, unfamiliar place. Ever heard of cognitive fatigue? It's a real thing, especially when you're traveling. The second you land, your brain is just bombarded with new languages, new signs, new money, new customs. It goes into total overdrive, and that mental overload can make you make bad decisions right when you need to be the sharpest. So the trick is to lighten that mental load. And here's how you do it. First, build in buffer time. Never rush. It's key. Second, let technology be your friend. GPS and translation apps are absolute game changers. And third, have a printed itinerary. It frees up so much brain power when you're not trying to remember every single detail. I absolutely love this tip from an 80-year-old traveler. They reframed that monster 18-hour travel day as a long work day. That's such a brilliant mental hack, isn't it? It helps you manage the journey and keeps your sleep schedule from going completely haywire. And what about that feeling of just being a little lost or disconnected? Well, here's how you stay grounded. Regular video calls home can be a huge comfort. Learning just a couple of phrases like hello and thank you can make you feel way less anxious. And look, there's our old friend again. Staying longer in one place helps you feel settled instead of constantly overwhelmed. All right, let's shift gears to something really important, staying safe. This is about protecting yourself from people who might, unfortunately, see senior travelers as an easy target. Let's not beat around the bush here. Scammers and thieves, they look for targets. They're actively watching for signs of vulnerability. Someone who looks confused, maybe a little lost, or is moving a bit slower. Just knowing that this is what they're looking for is your first and best line of defense.
So the big takeaway is that how you present yourself makes a massive difference. Here's your 4-point security plan. 1. Project confidence, even if you have to fake it. Walk like you know where you're going. 2. Use anti-theft gear to make yourself a harder target. 3. Look up the common local scams before you get there so you know what to watch out for. And 4. There was always safety in numbers, especially when it gets dark.
And that brings us to our final section, the one that really ties all of this together, the key to great travel. And it all boils down to this. It's not your age, it's your approach.
If you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. The difference between a trip that's stressful and a trip that's absolutely successful, it isn't your age, it is your preparation, period.
And this quote from a 71-year-old just says it all, doesn't it? It's about self-awareness. It's being honest with yourself and saying, okay, I can't do everything I used to, so I'm going to plan my travel accordingly. That's not a limitation. That is smart adaptation.
So, we've gone through the strategies, but now I want to hear from you. For all you seasoned senior travelers watching, what's your #1 best tip? Drop it in the comments. Your wisdom might be the exact thing someone else needs to hear to finally book that next great adventure.